Good afternoon, my YouTube viewers. Mike here. This is another of my Scandinavian Appreciation Society videos. As you can clearly see, this one is about Norway, and specifically about the Norwegian football team who did so well at the World Cup this year, 2026, this summer, in the USA, Mexico and Canada. Now, yeah, it's been a long time. I do have another channel as well, so I've been doing some videos on there. And although I'm wearing a Barcelona shirt, that's got nothing to do with it. Incidentally, Spain will be playing in an hour and 17 minutes against France in the World Cup semi-final. So anyhow, let's go back to Norway. Norway, it's often been said, well, it was once said, that Norway is like the teenager of the Nordic countries. Once ruled by Denmark, and then it didn't quite get its independence, and then it was ruled over by Sweden. So like it's ruled over by one parent, and then the other parent took charge. But Norway always wanted to leave and to be independent. So when you think of Scandinavia, when you think of the Nordic countries, mainly Denmark and Sweden have always dominated historically. Have been the big two. And really, relatively speaking, it's been the same in football. In the World Cup and of course the European Championship. Sweden have been in 3 semi-finals, World Cup semi-finals, I think, and they've certainly been in the final. But that was in Sweden, when it was held in Sweden in 1958. Denmark, not really been in semi-finals. They've been in the World Cup more. They got to the quarter-final in the 1990s, 1998, I believe. They got to the second round, and I think that was 1986. And of course, 1992, they won the European Championship. But Norway participated in 18 World Cup competitions, if you like, including qualifying. They've been in 4 finals: 1938, 1994, 1998, and most recently this year, 2026. And of course, then again, Sweden in particular have qualified a lot more than Norway, and probably Denmark have as well. The last World Cup, Denmark was the only Scandinavian country that qualified for the World Cup. Yeah, I think I said that right. And they weren't too impressive when they got there. They lost all 3 games. So they went home straight away. Now, Sweden qualified for this one, but were not. I don't think they were really had a strong team. I never thought that to begin with. They were very lucky to be qualified to qualify. Denmark missed out. They were in a good position. Just messed up in their last two games, and they played in a playoff in which they lost. I think it was the Czechia or the Czechs. Yeah, they lost to the Czechs. But Norway in the qualifiers, they won every single game, including beating Italy home and away, which is quite some feat, really, for a team to beat a team like Italy. And that's why Italy didn't even qualify. So, um, so that they went into the tournament as being what you call it a dark horse, and before the tournament started, I thought they would finish. I thought they were capable of finishing in the semi-finals. I thought they were strong enough for that. But I said to myself, I'd be happy if they get to the quarterfinal, which is exactly what they've done. So they've succeeded in what I thought they would do. Um, so you know, is it a surprise? Not from what I know, not from my knowledge. That they've put a lot of work into making sure that that the pitches that they play on and that they're able to play on all year round. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it's probably under soil heating, I would imagine, in such a cold country. I think it's all weather playing surfaces. I think they put a lot of money into it. But then Norway is a wealthy country, very wealthy country, and have been very wise with their resources. Too, not just because it's wealthy. Um, and so they've invested a lot in training, in pitches, in their infrastructure of um, you know football in general, and coaching sessions, training, uh, football schools for children, and I'm not surprised. I remember a few years ago, I can't remember when it was. I remember they won the European Under 21 Championship. I don't know, it was a European. I think it was a European Championship. It was not that long ago, and I thought to myself then, wow, perhaps in a few years' time they'll have a good team. Well, it seems like that's the case. Um, and so here we are, and they are a good team. Um, they're solid and well organised. They have got flair. They've got the likes of Noosa, Oscar Bob, um, Sheldrup down the wings. They got the Arsenal captain in midfield, Odegaard, or should I say Odegaard? Um, that's my best accent. Pronunciation. So in midfield, one of the best midfielders in Europe. And a lot of these players, they're experienced in playing in Premiership football in England, and so they've become more professional, and they've got more quality. And Haaland himself, or should I say, how do you say it? Haaland. is a phenomenon all in himself. One of the best strikers in the world, and a player who simply can't stop scoring. So they had a group of was it Tunisia now? Oh dear. No, it wasn't Tunisia. I think it was Iraq, and they had Senegal, and they had France. They won the first game against Iraq 4-1. Probably weren't at their best then. And then they beat Senegal, and of course they qualified for the next round then. I think they won 2-1 in that. So and then they rested that entire team against France, and of course they lost 4-1. Haaland scored 7 goals. So then they've got to the second round. Now let me see. Dear. Then they played, I think it was Ghana, and I think they won 2-1. So they got through. So that was the last 16. That was the last 32. Then they got to the last 16, in which they played Brazil. Now, although they've played a few games against Brazil and not been beaten Brazil, it was still a tremendous win beating Brazil, because not only was it beating one of the favourites to win the World Cup, they also got to the furthest they've ever been, quarterfinals. And really, they should be in the semi-finals. Better than England. They played England. They lost against England. Were England better than them? To be honest, to be completely honest, no. I would say they were equal. I would say England were lucky. Lucky to beat them. The decisions certainly didn't favour Norway. And certainly England's first goal, just before half time, shouldn't have been a goal at all. And also, Norway they lost 2-1, but Norway should have had a second goal, and that was disallowed. There was a foul by apparently Haaland. Yeah, he should have been booked. Book the player, take the corner. The corner was taken. Goal was scored by Norway. It's disallowed because of the Haaland foul. But if he had already been booked, or had already been made a foul, then the goal shouldn't have been disallowed. Also, what's his name? I don't remember his name now. Sorloth. He had a golden opportunity to pass to Haaland, but chose to take a shot himself, and he messed up when Haaland was in acres of space. That would have made it 2-0 at the time. So I'm not so keen on him now. So that was an opportunity, but this is quite an achievement, because Denmark didn't even qualify. Sweden got to the second round and they've not looked great for a long time, even though they qualified. So they've outshone Denmark and Sweden, and they've shown great spirit, great skill, great resilience in their play. The fans did this Viking rowing chant and celebration, which was captured everybody's imagination, and people were infused and amazed by this celebration and by all the fans doing this in unison. So there's a lot of pride there, and the Norwegians were excited to qualify. The fans spent so much money getting to the games, and yes, it's been great. I've been infused by it. I think I would be proud to be Norwegian watching this. Not just by the fact that they've done so well, but the fact that their attitude, the way the fans are, and the humility of the players in defeat. And yeah, I always want Scandinavian teams to do well in World Cups and to make an impression. I think they've certainly done that. It's a shame they didn't get through to the semi-finals. They were both perfectly capable of doing that. It would have been amazing if they'd won the World Cup. It would be amazing if any Nordic country won the World Cup. Sweden in '94 got to the semis, and that was great to watch. But that's where we are. That's where we are. I think well done, Norway. You've certainly put Norway on the map. People are more interested in the country now, more interested in your culture, in going there probably. And Haaland himself has become quite a phenomenon. And I think they've got a strong team. There's the European Championship, there's the next World Cup. I think probably they'll qualify for both. Sweden didn't. They had that great World Cup but didn't qualify. I hope that's not going to happen, but I don't think so. And it's good to see. And I love the fact they got the flag on the front of the shirt. You don't often see that, so I thought that was great. And there we go. There's another view of what the football shirt looks like. Not quite the same, but similar to that. And yeah, I've been wearing it. I'm always having to explain why I would wear any Scandinavian football shirt. I'm always having to explain why I would support any Nordic team over England, which I do. And I'm always having to explain, well, I don't have to explain, but I'm always asked to explain why. Why Scandinavia? Why Norway? Why Sweden? Why Denmark? I just say it's a long story because it is in a way. There's no simple explanation for it. But that's where we are, and it's one of my hobbies. It's a fascination I have. Sometimes I don't think I belong here, but I am here. Sometimes I think, well, perhaps once I was a Viking who got left here and didn't get to go home. That does sound a bit funny, yeah. So, but yeah, I just feel an affinity, a connection, and I don't know, understand. I don't fully understand it, but it's just not. It's not just me liking them. I just feel a connection, just like I do with my football club, Coventry City. I feel a connection with Scandinavia, the Nordic countries, and I just think Scandinavian countries are unique and special in their own way. The people, in some ways, will never understand. But well done, Norway. You've done great. You've made me proud. You made your countrymen proud, and you've made all the Nordic countries proud. So thank you, and look forward to see more of this great Norwegian team. Okay, so thank you for watching. Thank you for viewing. Please click. Please subscribe. Thank you. And hi hi.